If you think having a low risk reward means you're automatically going to fail as a trader, today's video is going to rewire your entire perspective when it comes to trading and show you why a high win rate is really all you need to make money, especially with prop firms. So let's get into it. Now let's get right into why a high win rate with a 1-to-1 risk reward is significantly more efficient than a low win rate than with a 1-to-2 and above risk reward. Simply for prop firms, the way I trade is very prop firm oriented. I have well over $400,000 in payouts with them, and I have everything I need for proof to show you guys right now as well. But I am going to show you guys in a minute why they are more efficient for prop firms and just overall for efficiency throughout your day. But first off, I do want to start off with evidence of what I have shown for you guys today. Obviously, this is an anomaly. This is an account that I've been trading for basically 2 weeks now, 8 trading days, so almost 2 weeks, with a 100% win rate, my worst day being $1,000 and my average day being $2,000, right? And I've made over $15,000 on this account, meaning I've requested over $13,000 in payouts alone from this single account in the last 2 weeks, right? Take a look at my lifetime payouts with Lucid Trading. That is my number one prop firm right now, just so you guys know it's the main prop firm I'm really trading and getting payouts from. But you can see right here, I've been on the live program for literally like 10 days, 10 trading days, and I've done $27,000 in payouts with them. And total earned is almost $80,000 simply off one prop firm. And this is going to go later into the video. I'm going to explain this later. This is all my payouts. You can see I'm basically just requesting payouts on a daily basis, back to back to back to back. And that goes hand in hand with what I'm going to teach you in this video, along with some real life examples of my actual trading and strategy. If we take a look over here at Lucid's website, we can see all their account types being the Lucid Pro, Lucid Flex, Lucid Daily, Lucid Direct. Now, let's take a look at their rules and see what you guys think would be more compatible with which system, all right? Now, let's take daily loss limit off for every account because we don't like daily loss limit, obviously, right? To get a payout, because ignore the valuation, that does not matter to make actual money. Now, mind you, Lucid does have no activation fee on each account, so that doesn't matter. You can turn daily loss limit off as well on each account. I wouldn't recommend it like whatsoever. But if we take a look at the Lucid Pros, right, the accounts are 1 day pass, right? Meaning you want to make $3,000 with a max loss limit of $2,000. Now, the way I personally would pass these is literally just risk $2,000 to make $3,000, which is also a low risk reward. And what do you guys think you will have more success passing, right? An account that has a $2,000 drawdown with a $3,000 profit target, right? So now you have the option to pass that with two systems. You have the option to pass that with a system that will yield you a 80 to 90% win rate with a 1-to-1 to 1-to-2 risk reward, or a system that has a 30 to 40% win rate and a 1-to-2 and above, right? Meaning you have a 30% chance of making money on a trade, or you have an 80 to 90% chance of making money on a trade, right? So my win rate is an average of 75 to 85%. This month it's been a little bit higher. It's been 95%, which is ridiculous. The account I showed you guys has a 100% win rate. That is not standard by any means, and I didn't really want to show you guys that because it is an anomaly and it might mislead some of you guys into believing that people can actually have an 100% win rate when that is not the truth whatsoever. This month I probably have an 80 to 90% win rate, which is still extremely high. But to pass these accounts, it is much easier to have a 80 to 90% chance of making money on a trade and risking your entire drawdown to make 3K, right? Now let's look at the funded. 40% consistency in order to get a payout. So you need 3 winning days and you need a 40% consistency. What does that mean? Simply means whatever you make as a total, one trading day cannot be more than 40% of your total profits. Meaning if you made $1,000 in total, you could not have made more than $400 in a single trading day, right? What happens if you break that rule? Nothing really happens. All you have to do is make more money to basically meet that requirement. So if you make $10,000 in profit, as long as you didn't make more than $4,000 in a single day, not a trade, you can make as much as you want in a trade, but as a day, accumulated total from 6 p.m. open to 5 p.m. close in the futures market. That is what it calculates as a day. So if you lose $1,000, but then you make $2,000 on a trade in the same session, your P&L is $1,000, meaning they're going to qualify your 40% consistency from that. So that's 1,000. The equation I use for 40% is 2.5 multiplier. Why is that? Because 100 divided by 40 is 2.5. So if you made $1,000, just multiply that by 2.5. You have to make $2,500 in order to request a payout. Now, with these accounts, you do have to have a 40% consistency in 3 trading days. What are you most likely to be consistent with? What are you most likely, because you technically need 3 trading days with similar P&Ls in order to get a payout. What is more probable to happen, right? You make the same amount of money 3 times in a row with an 80% chance of your trade hitting by risking $500 or $1,000 3 times in a row, or you're risking your $300 to $400 trying to make $4,000 in a single trade. And now you have to have 40% consistency with a 1 to 5 risk reward system that hits 1 every 5 trades, right? So as simple as that, a high win rate will always outcompete a low win rate when it comes to trading prop firms because of consistency. Now let's go into an account that has no consistency, right? The no consistency accounts still have 50% on evals. What are you more probable of hitting? 2 50% trades, or 2 trades of the same P&L with a low risk reward and a high win rate, or 2 trades of the same P&L with a low win rate and a high risk reward. Obviously, a high win rate with a low risk reward is much more probable to hit that 50% consistency marker, since you are much more probable to just hit TP off the bat, right? Now let's get into the funded rules, because, oh, Ali, you're so biased with the evals. I already proved to you guys that it's a lot easier on the pros with the funded and the eval. Now let's go into the lucid flex. The funded rules. There is no consistency, meaning yes, if you have a low win rate with a high risk reward, you can hit one big trade and build your entire balance. Now guess what? You still need 5 winning days, right? 5 days to pay out, simply because you need 5 days of $150 or more on the 50Ks, 5 days of $200 or more on the 100Ks, $100 or more on the 25Ks, and on the 150s, you need $250 5 days as well. It does not have to be 5 days in a row, but I'm just showing you guys the rules, right? What are you most likely to do? Get 5 winning days of your $150 by just risking $150 with an 80 or 90% chance of winning, or having a 30% chance of making $150, right? Simple as that. It is as simple as that. It is so much easier to build a big balance and to also stack winning days with a high win rate and a low risk reward. Now the lucid dailies as well, these are also daily payout plans. I'm not extremely familiar with these plans. I would do E of day and intraday off and daily loss limit off. I'm not a fan of intraday or daily loss limit. I would rather deal with intraday than daily loss limit, because intraday stops trailing at the buffer. The buffer is always $100 over your drawdown, by the way, so you guys know. This applies to every prop firm, not just Lucid. My Funded Futures, Tradeify, Tops that doesn't actually have those accounts. Blue Guardian, Apex, whatever prop firm you guys want to trade, right? Funded X Futures, the buffer is always just going to be $100 more than the drawdown. So if your drawdown is $2,000 and they say you need a buffer to take a payout, that just means you have to make over $2,100 to request your payout, right? And usually you also have to have a minimum payout. It's usually $500. So meaning you need a balance of like $2,600 usually to take a payout. But if you take a look at the daily accounts, you can see here 50% consistency on evals. On the funded, there's no consistency, right? So on these accounts, what I would do personally is build the buffer, and then every single day just go for a 1-to-1 risk to reward with a high win rate, and stack trade and stack payouts every day. Now, what is that going to remind you of? Let's take a look at what I was showing you guys a few minutes ago, right? If you take a look at my screen right here, we can see I've been taking payouts every day from July 23rd to August 6th. It is currently August 10th, and I also requested another $1,000 today, simply because it was the weekend, so I couldn't trade from the 6th to the 10th, right? Or 7, 8, I don't know. I couldn't request a payout for 3 days. But you can see I requested $2,000, $1,300, $1,200, $2,500, $1,600. Let's take a look over here. 1.2, 1.2, 1.5, 2.2, 1,000, 1,900, 1.7, 1.03, right? 2.2, 1.2, 1, 1, 1.2, 1.1, 900, and $3,000. And today I just requested another $1,000. Why? Because what did I do? I risked $2,000 to make $2,000. Why? Because my trade has an 80 to 90% chance of hitting take profit. I'm very confident in my system. I will risk my entire drawdown to beat that intraday drawdown, or whatever buffer you have to build that buffer, and then over that, you just risk $1,000 to hit your profit goal for the day. Now, when it comes to accounts of daily payouts, the system is extremely, extremely profitable, simply because you have such a high percent chance of hitting your take profit that you can risk an extreme amount on your drawdown, or extreme amount of your drawdown, to make $1,000 to $2,000 a day. And you have such a high chance of hitting TP, like I said, that even if you blow your accounts over the course of a few trades, you should have accumulated at least a large enough sum of payouts to pay for a lot of your evaluations, right? And prop firms are an ROI game after all, so it It is literally as simple as that. You make money and you spend money, and you just want to make a lot more than you spend with these companies. Now, for this last part, I do want to go over why a low risk to reward typically involves a much faster just day in general, right? I'm literally entering a trade typically from 9:30 to 9:45 a.m. and I'm usually risking around 25 to 30 points to just make 25 to 30 points, right? With usually a decently heavy size. Now, what does this mean? This means I'm done trading in my day in 5 to 10 minutes because I'm not trying to catch the entire day's move. I'm not trying to catch a big move in the market. I'm just going for a small little piece of the entire move, risking a significant amount. Hence why I have a pretty high win rate, right? It's just a lot easier to follow prop firm regulations, compatible with consistency rules like I showed you guys, and typically involves a 5 to 10 minute workday. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean by this right now, right? If we get into the actual chart and show you guys examples of a trade I took today, right? Today was an extremely choppy day, right? I wanted these highs, right? So the trade I took today is as simple as this. I entered long here with my stop loss here and my take profit here, right? I wasn't trying to catch the entire move from all the way down here, catching all the way up here, right? Because when you're trying to catch the entire move, these people are entering down here, trying to take profit up here. You would have lost, or you would have gotten break even, right? The way I trade, my bias can be incorrect for the day, and I will still make money because I play it safe. I always play my trade safe, right? You can see in this scenario, I actually wanted to go long here. All I want is this high up here. And as you can see, it played out in a matter of 9:45 a.m. to 10:06 a.m. I was in a trade for 20 minutes, and this is the longest trade I have actually taken all month. This is an extremely extreme example of what a trade for me looks like, because this was the longest trade I've taken all month. And I'm gonna show you guys a trade I actually took in Asia session this same day to show you guys a normal example of a trade. I want these lows, I want these lows. What does that mean for me? I'm going to wait for a strong displacement to the downside. TP there, stop loss up here. I'm risking 30 points to catch 30 points. My stop loss is at this high. My take profit is at this low, right? If you guys want a video on my strategy, I have a lot of videos on that. Just stalk through my channel and look for my actual model. But this is me showing you guys examples of entries that I've taken, right? You can see my risk to reward is exactly a 1-to-1, just like that. This trade did take profit from 750, or actually I'm lying. I entered here with my stop here. I entered here because I don't trade pre 8 a.m., 8 p.m. I entered this trade at 8 p.m. and I exited at 8:02. This trade took me 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and I made $1.2 thousand across 5 accounts. So this one trade made me $6,000 in 2 minutes. Why? Because I trust my system. It is extremely probable, and I will risk a large sum, which I risked $1.2 thousand. I took this trade with 2 minis, so I do believe I actually got a better entry. I don't know why I wasn't saying that. I don't know why. I don't know where I actually entered exactly. It is amongst the lines of this area, but I made $1.15 thousand, which should actually be around 30 points, if not a little, I think a little bit less than 30 points, probably like 27, 28. Let's just call it an even 27 with risking 27, right? This is the trade I took at 8 p.m. We opened high. That's all the manipulation I need to see for us to push lower and take out these lows, right? And that was my draw. And as you can see, after the lows got taken, we immediately reversed because this was my take profit for a reason, right? It was an unfilled hourly gap, if you guys know what that is. If you guys don't know what that is, just watch my recommended videos on my page, and I cover my entire system for free almost every day, literally. But 2-minute trade. 2-minute trade. The other trade I show you guys is 20 minutes, right? 2 examples on both extreme ends of the way I trade, right? And I actually did take a loss prior to this. I took a long here and I lost here, right? So I actually also lost the trade in 2 minutes. So it works both ways. You'll hit TP in 2 minutes. You'll hit stop loss in 2 minutes. You'll hit take profit in 20 minutes. Sometimes you'll hit stop loss in 10 minutes, right? It is a high win rate system. It is a very efficient system for prop firms. And what happens when you lose? Oh, Ale, you lose 2 trades in a row, you blow your account. Yeah, 100% I do. I lose 2 to 3 trades in a row and I blow my accounts. Guess what? I took $25,000 in payouts before I blew my accounts, and those accounts only cost me a few $100s. So I turned $1,000 to $2,000 at the max into $25,000. And guess what? I'll do it again and again and again and again and again. And that is the game, and that is how you play these prop firms, right? And with that, here comes an end to the video. So comment down below what you guys think about my system. Any questions, feel free to ask them. I will be there to answer, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.